So in this video, I think this probably will be for the first time I'll be doing a video like this to point out 5 bad things about Peugeot 406. So for me, it's not just about how good a car is. I always say they all have their weaknesses. So whatever I'm going to say in this video is something. If you are going for a 406, you should expect to have that issue. Out of these 5 things, you expect that you are likely going to, whichever car you are going to find, as long as it's 406, especially the D9 version or facilitated version like this one, expect that you are going to get at least or observe or experience 3 out of the 5, or if not all of them. So that should be something you should expect and not freak out, unless it's something that no, you can't deal with this, then don't bother to go for a 406. So before I continue, I just want to point out a few things I need to fix on the car that were worn out or broke recently. Number 1 is this. This is the bonnet. We call it, is it damper or shock? It's actually failed. It's been giving me sign. I remove this one from here so you can see how to use the wheel spanner to hold it. So it's been giving me sign until that was I think about 2-3 weeks ago. I just opened the bonnet one day, it just boom. As I was opening it, it was dropping as well. So and unfortunately, this is like the second time it's failing. The first one I changed it with a used one. So now again, I don't know, most likely I'll end up buying a new one. It's just I don't like new one. New one, they say in Nigeria are very low quality, so they tend to, in fact, if you're not careful, they will bend your bonnet as you're closing. Okay? They can be very hard to press down. So the only way to do it is you must hold the bonnet on both sides while pressing it down. If you hold it on one side, it will damage the other side of the bonnet. That's how hard they can be. So I made an attempt to find the used ones. The weekend I couldn't get one, so I think I may get. Well, I'll give it another shot. If I don't find it, then I'll buy a new one. At least better than not having it at all. The second thing is you can see the seat. This is the driver's seat. The leather has started fading. That started tearing gradually. Because this is a 24-year-old vehicle, but every other part of the car still looks as, I won't call it new, but as clean as almost when I got the car in 2013. I will eventually have to change. I'm not going to touch the other part of the seat, the other leather. Even the door cards can see they are still intact. So it's only this one that I will first have to change. Take it somewhere, they will change it, but not now, because I want it to be a high quality leather. So when I'm ready, I'll do it very soon. Anyway, okay, so let me keep this on here. Okay, so back to the purpose of this video. The 5 things, 5 bad things about 406. Number 1 is airbag warning. I expect that if you are going for a 406, one of their weaknesses is airbag. Sometimes it has it depends on kind of sign, but most times, or 99% of the time, there are issues. The sign is usually the trigger, the airbag trigger. I don't know if you guys can see it. There's one yellow solenoid. I don't know whether I'll call it solenoid, call it sensor. It's orange in color. So they usually fail. Let me show you guys. So out of every 10 406 you find, only 1 or 2 might not have that problem. You can see. If I start the car now, this one will probably start blinking. It has started blinking. Airbag. So it came with this car ever since 2013 I got the car. Likewise, every other Peugeot 406 I've come across, like I say, out of the 10 406 you meet, only about 2. Sometimes only 1 will not have airbag issue. So usually this, they call it, this one is trigger 1, the other seat trigger 2. So when you scan it, it will always show you either of those ones. Sometimes it could be the cylinder, sometimes it could be the connector. So it's something you should expect. So when you buy a 406 or you are going for inspection, if it's there, of course you need to scan to be sure that maybe the airbag did not deploy and it's giving you that one. But most times, if there's no issue with the vehicle in terms of the accident or any other thing, what you usually get is those solenoid or sensors malfunctioning. So in my own case, I tried it. It was the connector initially, but later I realized it has gone beyond the connector. But expect issue will be there. If yours doesn't have it, or the one you want to buy or end up with does not have it, then you are a very lucky guy. Another issue with 406 is the handbrake warning, handbrake faulty warning. Out of most 406 you find, you always, whenever you pull the handbrake, if the ignition is on, you get a handbrake warning sign, start beeping. May tell you handbrake sensor, I don't know, can't remember the exact word, or it'll be showing you this. This my engine bay is very dirty, so normally I wash engine bay every 2 years, twice in a year or once, depending. But I didn't wash this one last year, so you can see how dusty it is. Anyway, so sometimes it will be telling you, it won't necessarily say it's this sensor, but what I understand, this sensor on the reservoir, brake fluid reservoir, works with the handbrake switch. So most 406, when you draw the handbrake, it start giving you that the handbrake warning, the handbrake switch warning, which most time could be this one, or it could be the switch actually on under the handbrake. So it's a common thing with 406. So expect that you may have that issue. But the easiest way to check or to elude that is by replacing this reservoir. Like I said, most of them come with that one. So you may change the other reservoir, it may even be worse. So in my case, the issue came with the car. Since I got the car, I never bothered to check it. Since I know anyway, my reservoir is okay, my handbrake is working. So if the switch, why bother? Since you can't get a new switch, just use one. So you can as well end up buying another 41. Since it's a common issue with 406. Not every 406 will do that, but I'm telling you, it's a common thing. So expect that you might have that issue. If not the first time you purchase the car, at some point during your ownership, that issue will come up. Now the second issue, or another bad thing about 406 is the door card. Now this is the door opener. You can find it in almost all the doors. If you buy a 406 that the door card is covered with cloth or vellum, you will see almost every now and then the cloth will be peeling out from this plastic that is surrounding the opener. You see, so you will always be having that problem. It doesn't matter how new the vehicle is, as long as it's not leather. So if you don't want to have that issue, then look for 406 that comes with leather door card, or you don't have to do it. Even if it's called cloth, then you change it to leather. Let the job work be done properly. Of course, this one came with this, the leather. Nothing has been touched here since new. Even this roof liner, so this is a problem you should expect. It can be very annoying, trust me. So, but there's a solution to it. You change it to leather, or you change the door card and put a lock card that comes factory with leather. But if it's cloth, like I said, even if your own is still intact, you are wasting your time. You experience it. It doesn't matter what you think, it's going to happen. So that's one of the issues with 406. Now, number 4 problem or bad thing about 406 is the ones that come with ESP, electronic stability program. What you tend to experience in almost all 406 that I've come across with that system or ESP, every now and then, not all, but I say most, it must start showing you ESP one in here, somewhere around here. Sometimes it could be as a result of what's it called, steering angle weight sensor. You know, if you do any work on the suspension, force suspensions, it might trigger that warning. And once it comes up, sometimes you can use your PP2000 and correct it by following the instruction on what to do. Sometimes it refuses to go away. You know, those such ones, you always see a button here written ESP. So once you start, you see the power button will be blinking. You see there's a bulb under or in the middle of the button, it will be blinking. So, but the worst part of it is sometimes not all forces that I know that experience it. The forces with ESP, once if there's a big issue with the ABS, sometimes the car will just start to apply brake by itself. It's not only forces that is peculiar to like Z8 607. Some of them behave like that when there's a big issue with the ESP. You will be driving, all of a sudden the brake will apply brake by itself. So my advice, if you can, avoid forces that has that ESP function. I'm not saying you must experience it, but at least you know one of the issues or some of the symptoms, or this they tend to give that problem. Not all, but they tend to. So at least it's something you should know if you are buying, even if it's not showing those symptoms that time, but it might happen, or it probably have happened before and the person fixed it before he made the purchase. But there are some of the issues they are known for. Most cars will not have those kind of problems. The forces, yeah, expected. For example, this one doesn't have the ESP, so that's why I've never experienced any of such. But I know people that their forces has ESP. Most of them have had one ESP issue or the other, or constantly the ESP issue refused to be fixed. So that's not one of the issues. Now the last bad thing, which is number 5. So the number 5 bad thing about forces is this. This one is the most frustrating part of them, the fault. This is the steering fluid reservoir, right? So remember, this is the coolant reservoir, this is the steering fluid reservoir. So this one, as you can see how wet, oily it is. It doesn't matter what you do, you always find this thing like this. If you like, clean it every day. Leave it like 1 week, 3 weeks, 1 month, you come back and see it wet like this and you see dust. Of course, depending on your environment, if it's not a dusty place, you hardly see dust, stain like this, but you always see the oil. Now, there are some people that mistakenly that will make it get too bad, so that the point that you start oil will be spilling out from here. What usually causes it is in the degree I'm talking about is if you go and overfill the oil level. As you can see here, you can see Mazzy. I don't know if you can see. You see that green, that plastic this thing showing Mazzy. That's the maximum sign. Yeah, you can see it. Yeah, look at it. That's the maximum. So whatever you do, do not go beyond that maximum sign. If you are pouring the fluid, don't exceed it. In fact, if I were you, there's another one under it which is written minimum. So let it be between the minimum and maximum, but let it not exceed maximum. If you exceed maximum, it will not only start staining here, it will oil, you see oil spilling out from the cover, middle of the cover. So it will even be worse. But like I said, it doesn't matter what you do, you always have this problem. Unless probably maybe you keep the oil almost at the minimum level, then you might not have this problem. But for me, I would rather keep it at maximum. Let this issue be there rather than because if it stays at the minimum, meaning that if there's any small leak or something, it could actually damage your oil pump or your power steering pump or your steering rack by the time you notice it. So it's better let it come up to some extent. It depends on you anyway, but this is one of their issues. Out of every 10 406 you see, probably only one you see that will be dry, the reservoir. The rest will always have oil stain or oil spill from the reservoir on the top. So these are the major bad things I could say about 406. Now, it doesn't mean it's something that's a big turn off. Maybe to some people, you feel that, no, I can't drive a car that have all these issues. Maybe it's up to you, you know. But so some people, well, it might not be a big deal. I mean, which other car that can you mention now that doesn't have its own peculiar weakness or issues? So I'm just telling you what you expect to own a 406. All right, so I'm going to. It's almost 6 p.m. or almost 6:30 p.m. now. So I'm going to. Spoken to a mechanic. He says he has a used one for this. So I will ask him to bring it before I leave here, so that I will try it. If it doesn't work, or if the length is not the same with this one, then I'll go and get a new one. They are not actually expensive, you know. Just like the reason why I tried to. New one is abundantly available, but they are not high quality ones, so they are not as good as the OEM or the good ones. So they will work, but you will be struggling to press down the bonnet. Otherwise, if you push it, like I say again, only this side or from the middle, over time you see that your bonnet will be bent. So you have to now use two hands to force it down. Even to press it down, you need to go and eat and have some energy before you do that. So we'll see. Okay, so I think I'm probably done. This is a 24-year-old vehicle. And I'm okay. I love the vehicle, and I'm okay. I'm okay with the bad things about the car, and maybe you are not. So you try a different car.